Hey, troglodytes! Welcome back to another episode of Trogly's Guitars. We have a second one of these in natural, and three in total in this shop right now. These came from a good friend of mine. He really likes these 2550s. He has a massive collection of these things, and he's slowly kind of trying to get a few other, types of guitars. Very nice condition customs. He's looking for a black 2550 and a red 2550. So he's selling some of his duplicates. I think he had like 13 of these natural ones. So he decided to let a few of them go. We made a deal on them. So we can finally bring these gorgeous ones out to market. If these are the runts of his litter, I am very curious what his top ones look like, because all of the 2550s he sold me are very nice examples. This one's no exception. This is actually a pretty clean one. It's not as clean as the other 2550 in natural I have, but it is very similar in condition. As you can see, the lacquer has aged very slightly. I mean, this one isn't completely natural. It's a little bit creamed over, but it's still got that nice vintage vibe. Looks like you got some finish checking right there on that logo. Right there. So let's take a look at this thing here. Standard wear and tear on your headstock here. Just very light, string change scratches. Nothing that couldn't be buffed and polished out. Les Paul Anniversary truss rod cover in good shape. You've got a little bit of discoloration, but I believe a brass cleaner would clean that one. I polished up your brass nut, so that is looking good. It's overall in good shape. I mean, you got some light lacquer cracking, as you always get on these around the edges, but nothing too incredibly bad. Ebony fretboard with Super 400 inlays. Very good condition. The frets do show some very minor wear. So it's definitely been played, but it is in good shape. You do have the very small binding cracks at the end of the frets as well. And that just happens because of humidity levels, depending on where this guitar has been since, the late 70s. When there's not enough moisture, the wood actually slightly shrinks. And if you have an unbound fretboard, sometimes you'll get that sharp fret end. This is kind of what it does if you have a bound fretboard. It cracks it a little bit. I mean, it's not going to fall off. It's purely cosmetic. Pretty well every Gibson from the 70s is going to have that, except for a very rare few. And usually once they come over here to me, that happens to them anyways. Even though I keep them in proper settings, it's just something about Ohio weather here. Alright, so this is a gorgeous flame top, and even up here on the horn. And you got a lot of this mineral streaking going on, which is really cool. Now underneath this pick guard is the most beautiful flame ever. So I'm usually a pick guard on type guy, but I would almost suggest taking it off for this one. That's just how nice the flame is. You can kind of get a nice sneak peek here. It's nice wide flame. That's what I like about the right side of this top. And you can see it as you start moving. Just the nice wide flame it's got. It's got a nice eye here on it. You can see some more mineral streaking. As you can see here, there is a little bit of a crack in that knob inside. I mean, it functions perfectly. But just beautiful. Absolutely gorgeous. And that is factory. These came with, I think, Series 7, something like that. They are tarback humbuckers that came... They have actually double leads, and they're fairly short. So it's kind of hard to show you guys the backs of the pickups, and in every 2550 I've had, it's been that way. But they are the originals. However, looking in there, it looks like they might have been out at one point in time, or at least touched up. But this guitar is all original. So back to the nice wide flame on this side that you see, and then the right side, or I guess the left side here, has super nice tight flame. Like, not pinstripe that looks dumb, but you know, it's the next step after that where it starts looking cool. And you got the gorgeous wood grain underneath, beautiful mineral streaking. It's just, this guitar has a little bit of everything for everyone. Now, there is some, I guess that's kind of in the wood grain. That's not finish checking, but you do have a nice little ding there. There's another one here. Yeah, it's right here. There we go. You do have a decent ding there. And that's a real shame because the rest of it's pretty clean. You got some light picking wear there, but most of that'll rub off. So a nice clean top, and it's gorgeous too. So let's take a look at the back here. Equally as good of condition, as you can see, and another beautiful flamed neck. I love these natural 2550s. They're very prestigious looking here. This one's in great shape. What I like about this neck is while the two sides are a little bit more plain, I mean this one's got some decent flame in it, but this middle piece is where all the flame action's at. It's very cool. Now one thing to make note of is, I think you can see it here, is this guitar was in like a wooden case for most of its life before my collector friend got it. And the neck rest of that kind of sat there and kind of impressed into the finish. You can kind of feel it, but it's not super apparent, but it is there. But when you get it at that angle, it looks like you got a slight little amount of stand rash right there. I would guess it's probably over on the other side. And that wooden case also rubbed some of the clear coat off the finish there. So that's probably the worst thing about this guitar, is you got a little bit of stand rash here and an indentation. But while you're playing, you really don't feel it. I mean, if this super bothers you, I can, after we reach a deal, I'm sure I can send this down to my luthier. He'll gladly touch that up for you, I bet. But honestly, I'd say just leave it. Leave it alone. It's fine. Well, we're on the topic of stand rash. Towards the bottom here, you can see there is a little bit on the bottom as well. I mean, nothing extreme, but it is there, so I will point it out. Now, the back of this guitar is in exceptional condition. You've got a little bit of a, I'm not sure, that's not like a ding, it's going the other way. I almost think it probably came from the factory like that. It's like a little raised spot in the finish, which is interesting. I mean, not a lot of buckle wear. I mean, there's a little bit. You got a ding there. That one isn't, that's actually a ding. Then you got some light scratches. Then I was surprised to find out this thing actually still has the original plastic covering on it. It's not really even fallen off that badly. So that's there. You can take it off, so all those little scratches really don't exist underneath there. But once again, looking in there, you are the tin can covering in there is actually missing one of the screws. Doesn't affect it at all, but it is something to know. So I guess that kind of makes this one like 99.5% original or something. But overall, this is an awesome example of a natural 2550. Natural 2550s are really hard to find, especially in good condition. Usually when you do find them, they've aged so much they're kind of an ugly golden hue. I mean, this one has aged very lightly. I mean, if you're looking for that non-aged example, definitely check out the other 2550 I've got, because it's got that covered. This one covers that very nice, lightly aged. And something else to make note of here, for whatever reason, on every natural 2550 I've had, they've got this little rubber grommet type thing around the bridge post here. And that came stock from the factory. But it appears that it actually kind of distorts the color of the natural finish on these guitars. Similar to a stand rash, it's kind of that darker yellow around those stand posts because of that rubber, which is interesting. I mean, now that I've pointed it out, if you look at it, you might kind of see it, but really, it's not that noticeable. So, if you think you might be interested in being the next owner of this gorgeous Natural 2550 anniversary Les Paul, feel free to contact me on my Facebook page, facebook.com/Troglys, Trogoys. Feel free to check out the reverb listing and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more. We'll catch you later, troglodytes. Bye.